Alright, we're going to have a look at laying out some websites. If we were to have a look at some websites, in fact, let's just have a look at, double click that. BBC, let's have a look at the BBC website. Should see it's laid out in blocks. It's screen, let's just see if I can move this over here so you can see what's going on. Like that. You see there's there's like a block along the top here which is like a navigation bar. There's a block here which has got on the left hand side, it's got a date and a clock, and on the right it's got some temperature thing, and then we've got like a biggish block here, then a smaller block over the right side. So it's all arranged in blocks. If we go to Amazon, see what we've got there. Same sort of idea. There's like a big block at the top here which has got a couple of smaller blocks in it. It's got a navigation bar here, search bar, and then we've got the main advertising section here. Let's have a look at eBay. What has that got? Similar sort of thing here. So there's eBay has got a banner on the left. It's got some login options over here on the right, search bar, and then we've got another navigation block down here. There's a bigger block towards. Let's have a look here. There's a block there. And if we look down here, there's another block. So they tend to work this idea of dividing up the website into blocks, and we're going to use the same. And the tag you use for dividing up things is a div tag. Let's put this back on F. And go to my website. We're going to use this idea of div tags. It's divisions. That's all a div tag does. Now, a div tag won't do anything unless you tell it to do something. Basically the browser will just say, "Here's the div tag," and really won't do anything about it unless you've actually said something in the style sheet, or you're doing something with JavaScript to do something with it. At the moment, the only thing I've got in this directory is a little picture of a frog. In fact, we'll show you. There we are. It's a little picture of a frog. I'm going to use that as my logo from our website, and we're going to knock up some divs. So let's just start this, or let's just set the language HTML. There we are. I'm using Notepad++. This works in Notepad if you haven't got Notepad++ sorted out. HTML. I shared. Let's give it a /title and call it something like that. And when I tidy this, I'm probably going to tidy it to the 401 specification, so I probably want to go and just go to HTML schools, W3C schools, and just do a straight rip-off of their 401 spec. Drop that in there. That's easy to do. So when I tidy this document, it'll tidy to that specification there. If you don't put that in, it'll still work, but your browser's going to make its best guess as to what it thinks you're trying to do. And if you've got a bunch of mistakes in there, you don't be surprised if your browser throws a bit of a wobbly. Title. I want to attach an external style sheet while I'm at it, so I'm just going to put a link in. In fact, I'll do a straight rip off again. W3C schools, good place to go for ripping off code. There we are, and I better make sure that I call this my style sheet. In fact, I'll change it to something else. I call it what should I call it? My style, something like that. Yeah. So I better make sure I call this style sheet my style.css and put it in the same directory so that this web page can find it. So that's my header done. Let's have a look at the body. BODY. And this is where we're going to put the guts of the web page. So our web page is going to fit in this bit here. And what we're going to do is start putting some divs in here. So we're going to have a div at the top, which is called. It's going to have an ID of top bar. And we're going to grab that later. At the moment, it won't do anything. And in here, let's put top bar. We'll have our logo, and we'll have our logo, and we'll put in, I don't know, sort of like a little login thing. So let's stick our logo in there. Image. I'm going to just rip off the standard format for an image file. And we'll change the bits of this. It's going to be frog.jpg in there. Frog.jpg. I should stick my image in there. Alt frog. And the frog's quite a big image. If I look at this frog here, it's quite big. I probably want to make that a bit smaller, maybe 50 by 50, something like that. Should we try that? So make it 50 by 50. Now what you really want to do is actually get an image which is the right size that you want it. The reason being that somebody clicks on your web page, they're going to have to download this dirty great big picture of a frog here, and then what you can do is make it smaller. So they've spent bandwidth downloading a big image which then you crush down to 50 by 50 here. It'll do for the time being. It's a quick and dirty fix, but that should give us the a frog image there. And then what we'll do is we'll have another div called div, and we'll give this an ID of left bit, and this is in the left column, and we'll have a div called div ID equals right bit. We'll make it 3 columns. This is over in the right, and we'll say left bit, right bit, and we'll say this is div ID equals footer. I'm down out. There's an error there. Let's have a look. Div ID equals footer. Something's gone slightly wrong there. Coloring's out. Oh, there we are. I've forgotten to put a little. There we are. Sort that out. That's an advantage you use in Notepad++. It will give you a little heads up there that there are mistakes. What I've done is I've missed out that closing speech mark, so this text was still purple, and I just had to look back and see what I've done. If you use using ordinary Notepad, you wouldn't have noticed that error until you'd actually tried to save it on the on your web page and start trying to debug it. And this left bit, right bit, and let's have a put in here. Say div ID equals center VIT, but I just standardise my capitalising middle. Let's just standardise my capitalising here. There we are. So I've done that format because CSS is incredibly case sensitive, so we need to watch what's going on there. And those bits there, so I'm going to have a left column, right column, and a centre column. I want to put the whole mess in a sort of a centre block. So let's call this div ID equals main block, something like that. And what I want to do now is take that NDiv, Control X, stick it around there, Control V, and that's broadly what I'm after. Okay, let's see if I can just format that. I think TextFX, have I got something on here that'll do TextFX HTML tidy. This may put in a little advert for HTML tidy. Let's see if it does. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, there we are. It puts in a little advert. You can switch this off. This little advert that it puts in for HTML tidy. I'll just remove that again, and that looks like to be a functioning web page. That's pretty well all I want to do for the HTML side. All the rest of it is now going to be a CSS. So if I control, I want to file save as. Let's just in the right directory, and then I can mess with it later. We're going to call it page. And it's going to save it as a HTML file. If you're working in ordinary Notepad, you want to make sure that it is that this is not set to text setting. Save, and then go over here, hit F5. There's home page, and let's have a look. It should look a bit drab. Yeah, this is basically. Oh, it hasn't found the image. Let me find out why it's not finding the image. Okay, looking pretty drab. So drab. These all these blocks, they're not actually spaced out left, right, top, bottom, and all that sort of stuff. They're just all in one line because we haven't given any instructions to this div statement yet. We're going to give those in CSS in a second. And let me just correct a couple of errors. Well, it's not a from, it's a frog. Let's have a look. Control S that over here. Will it find my frog? There we are. So that's the start of my web page. Part 2 of this is we're going to build a CSS that does some formatting for this.